Hi guys, how are you? It's me, Lauren B, Little Miss B, the Untitled Tarot. Welcome back to the Magic Forest. This is not a reading. I'm getting back to the readings. Virgo, you're up next. I know you've been yelling at me all day. But I did Pisces reading yesterday, and you know, a part of me wanted to make it a collective reading, but it was so potent with Pisces energy that it felt more appropriate to keep it as just a single Pisces reading. But it's been on my mind. It's been weighing on me. I was pulling cards this morning, and there were so many cards that had come out yesterday in the Pisces reading that came out this morning. And I am a Pisces. I'm a Sun Pisces. My Mercury is also in Pisces. So, you know, I thought a little bit. I was like, is it me? Is it my energy coming? But I can usually tell the difference between like cards for me and cards for everyone, and you know. And so I was thinking all day, I was like, what is with the Pisces? What is going on with my fish? And then I kind of thought about it, and I remembered that Pisces is home right now in Neptune, right? I believe it will stay in Neptune till 2025. And so I was thinking, what does that really mean for us? What is that really doing to the energy? Because everybody's always, you know, wondering about like, where's the moon, and what's the sun sign? Is it my birthday season? You know, like, where's Venus? You know, because as we are, you know, but nobody talks about Neptune, right? And that's such a Pisces thing, right? Nobody pays attention to me, you know. So maybe there's a little bit of that going on. But the huge theme of yesterday's Pisces reading was that basically my Pisces people had sort of jumped timelines. They had done a lot of work on themselves, on being very proactive and bettering in their lives and their circumstances, and in doing so they've been able to energetically upgrade as such, and really kind of jump timelines. But for my Pisces people, they were also feeling a lot of that conflict and that tension between their old environment or the old ways they used to do things, the people that they used to spend time with, right? It's really feeling the difference in their frequency versus people, places, and things that they used to engage in. And so that's been sitting on me all day, really ever since I filmed that reading. And I'm thinking, okay, well, what is Pisces? What is Neptune? Pisces is home. That's why it's so potent right now. And what does that do for us? Pisces and Neptune, they're about dreams, and they're about illusions. It's Pisces floats up into the clouds, right? When the actualization of real life becomes too harsh, right? It becomes too rough against one's senses. And so Pisces likes to ascend up to the clouds where there's hope and possibilities. You know, maybe there's a sense of, if I can dream it enough, I can manifest a whole new timeline, which is cool because it's like Pisces did that, and that's awesome. But I've been thinking, and when we jump timelines, or we ascend, or we just heal and grow different parts of ourselves, and we are coming into contact with people that maybe haven't done. Everybody does their growth on a different rate, on a different scale, right? Not everybody's where you are right now at that time. And so it could be a little bit disappointing, right? And they keep giving me like half-baked. And I was like, what is that about? And I think that as a whole, not just Pisces, but I think us in general, collectively, as we rise and we ascend, we are feeling a little bit disappointed, maybe in ourselves a little bit, maybe a little bit with each other, almost like the jig is up, the illusions are gone. It's almost like I'm like, okay, let's just get personal. Let's just get personal, even though it makes me uncomfortable. Let's get personal. So there are a couple girls that I used to be really, really, really good friends with, like my bestest friends in the whole world, like my soul tribe, right? And over the course of time, life has happened. I've been in bad spots in my life. They've been in bad spots in their lives, like where, you know, our energies and our frequencies didn't really mash up together. And so that was really unfortunate. And that throughout time, there have been moments where we've tried to come back together, and it's always like we never skipped a beat, you know, like that soul tribe, that soul family, like unconditional love, like forever and ever. But in particular, one of those girls I've reached out to a lot. I've reached out to her a lot. I haven't ever really heard anything back for the most part, which is like having a bad boyfriend or something, you know. And I've done so much work on the bad boyfriend and the karmic relationships and all of that stuff. And I realized that I kind of missed a step a little bit for me personally, that I was like, okay, Lauren, like you got your work, you got all your little thingies worked out, like you did your healing in these little areas, but like, what about your friends, right? Like, what is it about your friends that is still kind of breaking your heart a little bit? And I realized that so much of that anxiety or that disappointment or that frustration I was personally feeling was because I was expecting that despite the unconditional love, despite the soul family, despite the soul tribe connection that there is, that the actual manifestation of that, the actualization of that was really half-baked, right? Because you can't do anything by yourself. And that was like, I was thinking about this morning, and it kind of stunned me a little bit, because I feel like as a Pisces myself, and the Pisces general and energy in general, it's kind of this sense of when you feel disheartened or disempowered or disappointed, you go up into that imaginative part of your energy where you're like, anything's possible and I can climb Mount Everest all by myself and blah, blah, blah. You're like, oh, okay. And then I realized, I was like, well, that's good. But like, also that could be a little bit of a coping mechanism, like an overcompensation for the deficit that you're feeling in some area of your life, because maybe you're not really vibing with your friends anymore. Or maybe you go to work and it just doesn't feel, you don't feel home there. You don't feel comfortable there like you did before the quarantine hit. Or maybe you're back in class and you're like, this information, this field of study just doesn't like inspire me or motivate me in the way that it did a year ago. Whatever it is for you, right? Because every day is a new balance that you have to find. Balance for you yesterday might not be balance for you today. And it might not be the same balance that you're going to need to maintain next week, because life comes at you fast, as we learned in the Taurus video when I got smacked in the face with a bug. Right? So I think there's something in that it's, as we're growing and ascending as a collective, we are meeting at the same time the harsh reality of people, places, behaviors, attitudes, mindsets, relationships that really never came to our ideal manifestation, our ideal actualization. But part of that is that we know that we were purposefully ignoring red flags. We were investing, pouring our cups, right? Trying to light with our wands, trying to harvest with our swords, trying to plant with our pentacles in pots that were really half-baked. And so then we have half-baked results, right? And then in there breeds disappointment. And when we feel a little down and when we feel disappointment, because energy exists in balance, for every good uplifting energy, there's also a lower frequency, right? And it's not always bad, right? But it oftentimes doesn't serve a purpose. Anxiety, fear, paranoia, jealousy, like those aren't lower vibrational energies used to break down things that need to be broken down. It's something that just breaks down the good parts of you, right? So because everything has to be in balance, as we grow and ascend and we're feeling all of these higher vibrations, that frequency of unconditional love, right, of acceptance, of forgiveness, of compassion to ourselves, towards others, there's naturally going to be, because things have to be in balance, almost like an objection, right, from the negative energy. And that's fine. And that's fine, because what you eventually hit a certain level and you're able to recognize it on spot. When you have your shadow in check and you have your ego trained, you're able to recognize that negative energy right on sight, and you'll be able to know, like, oh, that's just someone, that's just something, that's just a frequency and energy just trying to get me down because I'm doing really good. And normally when you start feeling like that pressure from that negative energy, it's usually a sign that like you're on a really good path, that you're starting to, like, when you feel like I'm doing the good thing and I'm seeing positive results and my ships are coming in and okay, yes. And then all of a sudden you're like, why do I feel like shit? Like, why do I feel like garbage all of a sudden? I feel like really anxious all of a sudden. It's like with every level, there's a new devil and it comes to test you and test you and test you, right? And some of it's just to see if it can throw you off, right? Just to see if it can trip you up. But some of it is also like from your higher self as a test to you, like, okay, well, how do you feel about it now? What's your balance now? Like, how are you coping with this situation? How are you dealing with this situation now with this disappointment? And the Pisces and Neptune, your instinct is to run up, well, it could be this, or they could be that, or if they would just talk to me, or if I could just get my boss to listen about my schedule, or like whatever it is, you know, it's so general, like collective, but it's this idea. And like, there's potential, there's power in potentiality, right? And being able to see those different timelines and being able to see those different options. But very much like the Taurus reading, There's a sense in the Taurus reading, there was a sense of like, you cannot project potentiality onto people, places, and things, because it's not really your place to do that, to be like, well, I know that they could get to this place. Like, I know that they could be healthy. Like, I know that we could have a healthy relationship. Like, I know this job could work out here. Like, I know. Well, how do you know? How do you know? Really, it's like you have to question everything, your motives on everything. And so I think with all this Pisces energy and with all of these timeline shifts, everything that's going on, we're feeling the natural friction of those lower frequencies trying to trip you up. But it's also bringing in to focus, I think, for us, a lot of times when we set ourselves up for disappointment. I don't want to say failure, because I don't believe in failure. There's wins, and then there's lessons learned, and lessons learned are still a win. So it's like win A or win B. But I think that there's something in that to they keep giving me like half-baked. It's like when you undercook a cake and the middle falls in, it's like you could try and stick it back into the oven, but baby, it ain't gonna rise. It's not gonna rise. You're better off just scrapping the whole cake, saving your energy, take your losses where you had them, right? And then just start new. Or go back and finish mixing some cakes that you were already working on, right? That actually do look like they're rising up. They do look like the baking powder is working, right? That leavening agent, that ascension, things that are encouraging your ascension, and not things that are making you feel as though you have to drop down to a lower frequency in order to participate with them. Because what is meant for you will always find you exactly where you are. You don't ever have to lower yourself down. So I have no idea what any of that was, but I felt like I was supposed to record that. So that's for you. I want to start doing more stuff like this. Hopefully they will be more glamorous and concise, but you know how we do here on the Untitled Tarot Magical Forest Troop Tribe Journey. It's like a box of chocolates over here, right? So that's what I have to say for right now. I'm going to try and do Virgo. I think I might try and do a live stream later. I think I want to start doing live streams. I don't know if anyone's going to show up. Oh, one more thing. I've decided that I'm probably going to start weaning myself off of Twitter, because Twitter's it's not working with my frequency right now. But I do really enjoy doing daily spreads. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do them on Instagram now. Twitter is my only social media. I actually don't have any social media as an adult. Like in my personal life, I don't have a Snapchat. I don't have an Instagram. I don't do any of that crap. However, I've decided to make an Instagram for Untitled Tarot. So if you would like to find me on Instagram, I am Untitled_Tarot. Untitled_Tarot. And I'm going to start posting daily spreads and messages and all kinds of stuff over there. So if you want more of me, you can find me on Twitter, but you're better off finding me on Instagram. Okay? So thank you guys very much. I will see you soon with the Virgo reading. Hopefully, Virgo, chat my ear off. Goodbye.